A recent survey said only 38% of law enforcement agencies are using AI. I work inside law enforcement. That number is wrong, and I'll tell you why it matters. Here's where that number comes from. The National Policing Institute surveyed 217 law enforcement attendees at a recent CALEA conference. 38% acknowledged currently using AI, 32% said they were pilot testing or evaluating, and 20% said they weren't using AI at all. Those are the official numbers. The problem is what they measure. That survey measured what agencies officially acknowledge. It didn't measure what personnel are doing on their own, on personal phones, personal laptops, and free consumer tools that leave no trace in any agency record. Official adoption and actual use are two different numbers, and I'd argue the gap between them is significant. Here's what's actually happening inside agencies that aren't officially using AI. Personnel are using ChatGPT to draft reports on personal devices. AI writing tools are showing up in correspondence and documentation. Consumer AI apps with no data governance, no audit trail, and no agency visibility are being used on work that ends up in official records. The agency didn't authorize it, leadership doesn't know about it, and that's exactly where the exposure is. Most agencies said, "We're not using AI at that conference." They are, they just don't know it yet. And that gap between what leadership believes and what's actually happening inside the agency is where the problem lives. Not in technology, in the lack of awareness. The National Policing Institute's own recommendations in that same April 2026 piece are straightforward. Create an agency AI acceptable use policy. Designate an internal lead or form a review committee. Consult legal on the use of data within government systems, and make sure there's an oversight process for how AI is actually being used. Those aren't complicated steps, they're starting points, and most agencies haven't taken any of them yet. You don't have to be an early adopter to have an AI problem. The agencies in the not using AI category aren't protected by that position, they're just unaware. And unaware doesn't mean unexposed. Awareness is the first step. Everything else follows from there. If your agency doesn't have a clear position on AI, that gap is already being filled, just not by leadership. WebBot IQ Public Safety provides AI readiness briefings for command staff built around exactly this conversation. If you want to start that discussion at your agency, the link is in the description.